Morning, yogis and yoginis. I'm Nissa. This is Mystic Fitness. And we all know that this is Wednesday morning. Weather is changing, and I feel like a change as well. So don't wait for me to say, drink water or take a break. Guys at home, do your own practice. Guys in the studio know this. And today we're going to start the warm-up actually standing up, because a change is upon us. And we'll bring our feet hip distance apart. Lift those toes. Lift them up, open them, spread them on the mat, and then lean into the toes a little bit, and then lean back. Do that again. Lift the toes, but keep that arch. Then spread the toes. Hold as if you're holding the mat with your toes. Lean forward, and then back. Find a comfortable energy spreading in your feet again. And bend your knees just a tiny bit. Tuck the tailbone in as far as you can and untuck it. I'm going to show you guys at home how it looks from the side. Bending the knees, untucking, and extreme tucking. A few times of that. We're going to use that in our breathing exercise today. So beautiful. Come back up to a standing position. Tuck the tailbone, not too much. Moving on to the rib cage. Open the rib cage, open the chest, inflate it, and then bring it in, like rounding the shoulders and the rib cage. Once more. Open and close. You know what? That felt so good. We're going to do another one. So inhale, open and close. Beautiful. Then shoulders. Round and around to the back. Hands can follow if you feel they are part of the game. You can even do chicken wings. Hands on the shoulders. A few of those, and change direction. You can even do asymmetrical rounding and change direction as well. Get the blood flowing. But I urge you to keep the rest of the setting intact. The feet, the knees, the pelvis, the rib cage. Only the shoulders are moving. And then release the hands. Open the hands to the future. Roll those shoulders away from your ears. And bob your head from shoulder to shoulder. Again, try to maintain integrity in the rest of the body, so just the neck is moving. Next time it's on the left side, leave it there. Bring the left hand on top of your head. Hand can lay on the ear, and slowly but surely, with your breath, let the head be heavy as can be, onto your shoulder. One more breath here. And release slowly as can be, back up. Take it to the other side. Right ear to right shoulder. Hand over onto the ear. And here the magic happens. So everything is set up, except of releasing the head, releasing the shoulder. The hand is just there. Breathe. This is so comforting for the fact that it stretches the vagus nerve. And bring it back up slowly, slowly, slowly. In Tai Chi, we have dragon whipping tail breath, and that's our breathing today. Remember, we bent the knees and we did the untucking and tucking of the tailbone. That's exactly what we're going to do, combining the hands. So you can grab a visual. I'm going back and forward. I'm going to give you the side view. I'm going back and forward. And when I'm coming forward, back of my hands together, rounding the back, opening up and back. Play along with that. So inhale, we open. Exhale, we round. And this is called whipping tail. So it's like a dragon whipping its tail. Inhale and exhale. Warm up that spine. Make it bigger. Explore that movement of a wave-like motion. 2 more. And come on right back up to Tadasana. Twisting the hands to one side and then to the other. We're going to grow bigger in the movement. So maybe open the feet a little bit. And when you go to one side, and it doesn't matter which side you're doing, lift the heel of the opposite side. So I'm turning to the left, lifting the right. Turning to the right, lifting the left. Reason being, if we don't lift the heel, we can damage our knee. And now maybe bend the knees while going to one side and the other, and breathe. So all of these techniques are meant and designed to awaken the chi, the energy. And we have different energies in the spring, in the summer, winter and fall. And we also have different poles, because the body needs different things. And wrap it up to a standing, relaxing everything. Hands come up, grab that chi and lower it down, right to your belly. And again, circle sweep up. Exhale, bring it down. Tuck that tailbone in. One more time. Inhale. Bring that energy down. Tuck that tailbone in. Open the hands. Look to your future. We're going to have a beautiful practice. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. This time, hinge forward, all the way down to a forward fold. Release your body onto your thighs. Maybe sway from side to side, opening the sides of the body as well. We just did that. Breathe and engage yourself in a non-structured movement. And come to stillness. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then walk the hands forward. Lower your knees to table. Untuck your toes. Open the knees a little bit. And circle the hips. Now your spine is warm and happy. Maybe explore cats and cows while moving around the hips. Look up and round back. Whipping the tail again as a dragon and take it to the other side, to the other direction. Maybe bend at the elbows, release the neck, breathe in and out. Come to child's pose at some point, opening the knees, releasing yourself to the mat. And then walk the hands forward a little bit, tiptoeing the fingers, just to stretch those scapulas. Release the forehead. One big breath here. And let it go. Push yourself back to table. Bring those knees back in, wrists under the shoulders, and move forward and back. Over your wrists, warming them up. So test the waters here, right? It's so important to see where your wrists are. Weird thing about wrists, they're temperamental. And come back to table, tuck your toes under, come all the way back, stretching the feet, circle those wrists. And here you have an option, or rather a choice, to do whatever wrist warming up exercise you need. Maybe magnetic wrists, which is just rolling the wrists together like so, and then to the other direction. Or stretching the inside of your hands by pulling onto the fingers. Yep. It's always a nice surprise for the wrists, right? And then the other one. And maybe shake, shake, shake. And I know the feet are screaming, but you are going to have such a beautiful blood flow into them as soon as we come off. So it pays off. Back to table. Untuck your toes. Tap, tap, tap. Come to stillness. Tuck your tail a little bit. Push the mat away and lower those shoulders away from the ears. This is neutral. Neutral back. Engage the core, tuck the toes under, and lift those knees to a hover to engage the core. Keep pushing the mat. Look down and breathe. 2 more breaths here. One more. And release the knees. Cows and cats. Breathe in and out. And then again, toes tucked under. Lift to a hover. 3 breaths here. Pushing the mat. And breathing. One more. Release the knees. Cats and cows. Toes tucked in. This time going straight to downward dog. So hips go up and back. Big breath here. Enjoy this back opener. So, because the intention of this pose is to open the back, you can bend your knees plenty. And then roll those shoulders away from your ears. Look forward, bend your knees, and walk to meet your hands. Forward fold. If you need a little bit more of a stretch here, you can straighten and bend your knees, releasing the neck, holding on to the mat or your legs. Bend and extend, release the neck. Breathe. And then come all the way up with your breath, just as we did before. Hands to the side of your body. Inhale, once again, pull forward and back, dragon tail. Do it your own movement with your breath. I like to close my eyes here. I'm just whipping my tail. One more. And come to stillness. Inhale, circle sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, bend right down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Legs go back to plank. Try to put the wrists under your shoulders. Shoulder widths apart. Roll those shoulders down. And tuck the tailbone in. If this is not in your practice, lower your knees. One more breath here. And on the count of 6, come down to the mat, tucking those elbows in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Untuck your toes. And maybe roll your forehead on the mat, saying no. Big breath here, big breath there. And then engage the shoelace side of your feet. Engage the glutes so your knees are actually floating and your hands are next to your body. Lower those shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, peel that chest up. And then look down. Big breath. And release to the mat. Push to table. And straight ahead to child's pose. This is a beautiful opportunity to drink some water if you need. Or take away the sweat. Inhale and let it go. Push back to table. Tuck your toes under. Push back to downward dog. Walk the dog. Pedal those feet. Keep on pushing with your hands. And at some point, just come to stillness, whatever that is for you. Bend your knees plenty. Look forward. This time maybe hop to meet your hands. Forward fold. Bring the palms of your hands under your feet. Step on them. And do the same as we did before. Release the neck and then straighten the knees and bend. Bend and extend. And while you are straightening the legs, pull down. A few more times. And release. Bend your knees plenty, and on your inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hinge from the hips straight to chair. high chair. So what I'm doing here, I'm tucking my tailbone in, not too much. Once I have that, I roll my shoulders open and I'm pushing the hands one against the other. One more breath. On your next inhale, shift your weight into the left leg, lift the right and shoot it back. Back leg straight, knee on top of the heel. Again, push those shoulders back, but tuck the tailbone in, keep your hips square. Bring yourself back to chair by shifting your weight forward and bringing the back leg back. Shift your weight to the right. Shoot the left leg back. Position yourself in a really stable high lunge. Tuck the tailbone in, but the back leg is straight. One more breath here. And shift forward. Bring the left leg back to chair and release to a forward fold. Cha-cha-cha the legs. So cha-cha-cha is just bending the knees, one at a time. And breathing. On your next inhale, hands to the shins, halfway lift, so the back is neutral. It's never straight, but it's neutral. Exhale, hands to the mat. This time maybe jump to plank. Strong plank here. Tuck that tailbone in, push the mat away, but roll the shoulders down so you're not crunching them. And breathe. Once again, if this is not in your practice, lower the knees. One more breath, chaturanga. Push yourself over the wrists as we did in the warm-up. Halfway down, tuck the elbows in. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, tuck your toes under downward dog. So you always can do the full chaturanga. Or come to the mat, baby cobra, and then come to downward dog. 2 breaths here. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Then bend the knee and open the hip by pushing the leg back to the left. If you want, you can circle your leg here or flip the dog. And if you are flipping the dog, shoulder over your wrist. Push those glutes up. And come back to 3-legged dog. Lift the back heel. Bend the right leg to your chest. Push yourself over your wrists, rounding the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it in between your hands. Lower the back heel to the ground and come to warrior 2. So adjust, adjust, adjust. I always have to move my feet around and always have to take a breath here. Flip the front hand and reverse the warrior. Left hand can do whatever. Maybe around the back. Lower those shoulders and push those hips forward. One more breath here. And on your exhale, come to warrior 2 once more. Bring the forearm, the right forearm, to your thigh and open the left hand to the sky, side angle. And breathe, you guys. Lower those shoulders, push those hips forward. Inhale, and come back to warrior two. Cartwheel the back leg and the hand to meet the front. Do it gracefully. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, maybe jump to plank. Tuck the tailbone in, lower the shoulders, but engage your core. One more breath here. And chaturanga, or your choice. Upward dog, downward dog. Walk the dog just for a getaway. And come to stillness. One more breath here. On your next inhale, lift the left leg, then bend it and open the hip. You can keep on circling here, both directions, or flip the dog. Once again, stack the shoulder over the wrist and pull those hips up by engaging the glutes. And bring it back to three-legged dog. Lift the back heel, bend the left leg into your chest. Push yourself forward over the wrists for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and step it in between your hands. Left leg in the front. Lower that back heel and come to warrior two. Take a breather here. Adjust the feet. Push those hips forward, shoulders back. And make sure that knee is over the heel. Flip the front hand. Reverse the warrior. Here, you want to open your chest. So the hand doesn't come in front of you, just stuck to your ear. Inhale, exhale, come back to warrior two. Lower those shoulders before coming to side angle. Forearm to thigh, right hand to the sky. Roll those shoulders back. Push those hips forward, engage the glutes, but open the hips. One more round and smooth breath here. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel the back leg and the back hand to meet the front. Inhale, circle, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, hinging from the hips, pushing back, bending the knees, releasing yourself to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Plank. And your choice, chaturanga or baby cobra. So, anyway and anyhow you get there is wonderful. Meet me in downward dog. And once in downward dog, roll those shoulders away from the ears. Expand your base by opening the fingers and the toes too. Release the neck, say yes and no. Push those hips a little bit back, even more. And on your next inhale, right leg goes up. Lift the back heel, bend the leg, and this time place the foot before the hands, just back of them. So it's in the middle, but not in between the hands. Okay? And then come on up to warrior one. So here, open the feet to a hip distance apart, but the front leg is bent, the back leg is straight. Shoulders are stacked over your hips, hands are up. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Open the chest with your inhale. Exhale, humble the warrior. All the way down. Once you are there, you can lift your hands to the sky. Release tension in your neck. Keep on pushing those feet into the mat. One more breath. On your exhale, lower the hands and come all the way up, engaging the core. Releasing the hands, coming back up to warrior one. On your next exhale, so inhale while I'm talking, shift your weight forward by pushing to the toes, the back toes, and come to warrior three or airplane. Warrior three, the hands are forward. Airplane, the hands are open. Dial that left hip down. One more breath here. Bend the standing leg and bring the left leg to meet the right, right to chair. Inhale and exhale. If you wish, come lower. Tucking the tailbone in, opening the chest. And release to a forward fold. Cha-cha-cha the knees. Release the neck. Say yes and no. And at some point come to stillness. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Back to plank. Your choice, chaturanga or baby cobra. Either way, you meet me in downward dog. And once you are in downward dog, take a minute to breathe and come back to the yoga. On your next inhale, left leg goes up, lift the back heel, bend the leg to your chest, and place it behind your hands, not in between your hands. Then lower the back heel and stand up to warrior one. Again, I need to adjust, so take the time to adjust. Open the feet, maybe opening the right foot a little bit, whatever it takes, but your hips are square to the front. Hands up, then interlace them behind your back. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, come all the way down. Humble the warrior. Once you are down and stable, engage the feet into the mat. Lift those hands to the sky. And I remind you to let your neck rest. Then lower the hands to your sacrum and come all the way back up using your core, bringing the hands up. Inhale. On your exhale, lift the back heel, push your weight forward, bending the front leg, coming to warrior three or airplane. Once you're there, dial that right hip down. Make them square to the ground. One more breath here. Bend the standing leg. Bring the right leg straight to chair. Breathe. If you need a little bit more, lower. But you should see your toes always. Tuck that tailbone in, not too much. One more breath, and release yourself down. Cha-cha-cha, the knees. Open the side of your body as well. Release the neck, and breathe. On your next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, coming to plank. This time staying here. Tuck that tailbone in, lower the shoulders away from your ears, but keep that engagement in the core. One more breath, and then lower yourself to forearm plank. Again, tuck the tailbone in, lower shoulders, push with your lax muscles. Breathe. 2 more breaths here. One more. You can do it. And then release the thighs. Untuck your toes. Roll the shoulders down. Come to Sphinx. I really like in Sphinx to let my head go and roll it from side to side. Just a suggestion. Just breathe. And at some point, release yourself all the way down to the mat. And open your hands to a T, right cheek on the mat. This is a beautiful and excellent point to drink some water. Don't forget, as I said, times are changing, our body is changing, our sweat is changing. Warmer times, more liquid we need, okay? And if you drank, just wait for us on your belly and breathe. So, back to business. Right cheek on the mat. Open your hands to a T. Bend the left leg. Lift it up in the air, engaging the glutes. And then push the foot to the right backside. Once your foot is on the ground, then open the knee to the sky, twisting onto your right shoulder, and that's okay. This is also a beautiful stretch to modify to whatever your body needs. So be attentive and do it. And then breathe back. position. I just figured out something. Sorry for the pause. Tuck your toes under. Come back up to high lunge. Bring the back leg to meet the front by shifting weight forward. Release yourself to a forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, push forward. Push the hips forward. Engage the glutes. A little bit of a back bend. Bring it all back down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Push to plank. And wave-like motion to downward dog. And then wave-like motion back to plank. Wave-like motion back to downward dog. One more time to plank. Roll that spine. And back to downward dog. Come to stillness. On your next inhale, left leg goes up. And step it right in between your hands. Come to high lunge. Bring it to crescent with your breath. Bend the back leg. Tuck the tailbone in. 5 dips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for a tiny bit. And then release the knee. Untuck your toe. Toe heel the front leg. And stretch that right hip flexor. Now you can go to full split. Or just lower those hips down, making sure you're square, okay? You don't want to do this. This is not this, okay? Tuck it in. That will open the hip flexor proper. And then tuck your toes under. Come straight ahead to high lunge. Shift weight forward, bring the right leg to meet the front, and rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. How we doing? Take a drink of water. How are you doing at home? I see you guys are lifting your thumb. I don't. I'm just kidding. One drink of water. And come straight back to Tadasana. Open your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And once again, left hand goes up and over, right heel up. Okay? And the other way around. Do that. Now, the more you look back and down, that's better. And just breathe and release tension while breathing. So this is so soft, you guys. The hands are just flowing. The hips are rotating. Your neck is rotating too. And you come back to the breath. And at some point, just come back to Tadasana. Tuck that tailbone in. Bring those ribs in. Don't flare them up. Bring them in. That's not opening the shoulders. 2 different things there. Look forward. Lift your chin just a little bit. Roll those shoulders down. And on your next exhale, so inhale while I'm talking, shift your weight into the right leg. Bring the left leg up. Stand here and circle your heel, maybe circle your wrists. You can do whatever here. You can even transcend with your hands, maybe whiplashing that tail again with one leg up, which is very challenging. Up to you. Once you are sure nothing is going to move you, open the right leg to the right, left leg to the left. You can stay here holding your knee, or come to full Raja, holding the toe and straightening the leg. And release back to front. Bring the left leg a little bit to the right. So it's it's just the opposite of what we did before. You can grab hold of your knee here, or maybe try to straighten the leg to the right across your body. That's a challenge right there for me. Ooh. And release. Shake the right leg. That was hard for me, you guys. But it's different, and it's so challenging, and I like it. Yeah, something new. I call it brain candy. Yeah, because you give your brain something new. So come back to Tadasana, come back to the breath. Align everything in your body. You know it. You know where things are just balanced, like rocks, like river rocks on top of each other. Find that place of beautiful, beautiful balance. And then shift your way to the left leg and bring that right leg just in front of you. Once again, 5 breaths here to just test yourself. Circle the heels, maybe hands. Almost fell there. And maybe just doing that dragon thing with one leg. Very challenging. And then focus. Open the right leg to the right and decide, what is your practice today? Is it full Raja? Or, for me today, on that leg, is just here. Listen. Listen and breathe. And then pull the leg back in and then to the left. So it's bent, and I'm just bringing it across my body. If you want, you can try and straighten the leg. I'm not sure I'm going to be there. I'm not there. So I'm going to stay here. And release back down. Shake, shake, shake. Whew. Circle the hips to one direction. Make it big and beautiful. It's really important to go all the way back and forward. And then to the other direction. You can even bend your knees doing it, opening the back. And if you're not at the top of your mat, please come to the top of your mat. Open your feet hip distance apart. Mat width apart. And bring those heels in. Push those hips back. Bring the hands onto your thighs. And stretch one leg at a time. Straightening the other. Now, if this is comfortable to you and you need more of a challenge, then open your legs a little bit more and do the same. I love to bring the shoulder in. Your choice. It's just such a nice stretch. But please remember, you're pushing back. I'll give you the side view as well. You're not doing this. You're pushing back. My hips are pushing back, and I'm stretching my shoulder in. One or more on this, and bring the legs back to the width of the mat, heels in, and straight away to Yogi Squat. A few breaths here. Take your time. Rise up from your hips. I engage my glutes, so I'm kind of sitting on my glutes, not on my heels. Just my take on things. I think it's healthier. And it also gives you the opportunity to do the next one, only if you have healthy knees. I rise my hands up over my head, lift the left heel, bring the left knee forward and back. In and back. In and the other side. You play around with it. Beautiful hip opener and stretching of the muscles around the knees and ankles. Only if you have healthy knees. And then come back to the Yogi Squat. Bring your hands in front of you. Maybe just go in and out a little bit to check we're not going into crow, but just checking the wrists again, and at some point push yourself back to sit on the mat, straightening your legs forward and stretching. Your choice here, you guys, to either round your back all the way down, maybe bending the knees a little bit, or straightening the back, rolling the shoulders back and pushing in. Two different tweaks to the same front bend. One more breath here. And come on right back up. Bring the right leg to either the inside of your thigh or the outside of your thigh. Left leg can stay here or bend as Corina doing. Your choice. If you leave the left leg straight, you get more in the back. If you bend it, you get more in the hips. Hug the standing leg with the opposite limb, so right with left hand, and twist. Right hand behind you, kickstanding, helping you rise up, and then on your exhale, twist. If you tuck your belly in, makes the twist easier. And please roll those shoulders down. Big breath. Come back to center slowly. Bring the right leg, or foot rather, to the inside of your thigh and round yourself over the left leg. Stretching yourself here. So I'm rotating a little bit towards the left leg, okay? And then release yourself as far as you can. Maybe bend the knee if you need. But the key ingredient here is to keep the foot flexed and release the neck. If you do so, I might suggest that you're feeling a bit of a stretch on the right side, lower back, and thigh. Also behind the left leg, that's for sure. One more breath here. come on up. Again, very slowly, so. And bring the right leg to the front. Other side? Yes. So left leg either inside of your thigh or outside of your thigh. Right leg either straight or bent, like so. Okay? Your choice. Then, right hand hugs the left leg. Left hand kickstanding behind me. Inhale and exhale. Maybe look to the back, roll those shoulders down. 2 more breaths here. We're taking our sweet, sweet time. And come back slowly. As if someone says to you, you're the Queen of England, take your time. Bring the left foot to the inside of your right leg. Keep the leg flexed. Rotate just a tiny bit so you're facing your leg, and then come in to release yourself. Release the neck. Bend those elbows if you can. And if you're not getting to a sweet position, then bend the knee. It's fine. No judgment. We need to open the body, not attack it. Keep on breathing, feeling all the places that are tight and giving them love. Inhale and come on back up slowly, slowly. Giving respect to the different positions your body's in. Pull your legs forward all together and come to the back, to your back, counting to 6. So tuck the tailbone in, bring those ribs in. Thank you, people in the studio. And then roll down, but engaging the core. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release yourself to the back, to your back. Or back to your back. So we're going to take our sweet time here. 2 more breaths in a mini Shavasana before the big one. And on your next breath, bring the feet to your mat, bending the legs. Open the hands to a T and just windshield the legs from side to side. Just enjoy the twisting on your back. Next time you're on the left side, leave the legs on the left side. Bring the right leg to rest on top of the left, and then play around with the positioning of the legs. So you might want to bring them closer to your chest or open more away from your chest. Whatever it is, find a position where you are completely relaxed. So here you're looking for that place where your body says, ah. Just breathe in and out. In and out. Allowing the shoulders to fall back onto the mat. One more breath. And then engage the core, lifting the legs up to your chest and then dropping them to the right. So once again, find that sacred geometry of your body. And once you're there, release tension everywhere you can. Maybe it's the core, maybe the jawline, maybe your shoulders. Wherever it is, just breathe into it. One more breath. And using your core, bring those legs back in to your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Pull those in. Pull those legs in. Forgot to say that. And then release. Release the left leg to the mat. Left foot to the mat, correcting myself. Bring the right leg on top of the left thigh and push the left leg into your chest or stay here. Open the right thigh. If you need, you can pull that constellation even more, opening the right thigh. You can even straighten the left leg, reclined pigeon. Breathe. And release back to the mat. Switch legs. So right foot on the mat, left leg on top of the right thigh. Once again, you can stay here and open the left by pushing with your hands into the thigh. Or bring the right leg to your chest, interlace the fingers on your shin, and pull in, opening the left hip this time. If you need more of a challenge, you can straighten your right leg, grab hold of your foot maybe. But the intention of the pose is to open the left hip, right? So keep on opening that. One more breath here. And release feet, both feet to the mat. Tuck and untuck your tailbone. Don't go to bridge. Just the same theme all through the class. We are tucking and untucking the tailbone, promoting a lot of chi moving, energy moving in that pelvis area, which is the base chakra. And at some point, come to stillness, release the legs to the mat. If you need, please take the time to do whatever here is needed by your body. Some people really like happy baby, which is holding your feet, opening and bending your legs and kind of rocking from side to side. And some people just like to release themselves to the ground. It's a beautiful surrender feeling or surrendering. No matter what we do, the ground is there to hold us. And to pull us. Find that beautiful round rhythm of breath. Like a beautiful, beautiful song. Breathe in and out. Letting this practice sink into your body, just as you are sinking into the mat. And let your mind do whatever it wants. But observe it rather than engage with what it brings. Your job is to breathe. Big breath in. And let it go. One more time. Big breath in. And let it go. Start wiggling your toes and your fingers. Small movements in your body. Maybe a stretch. And when you are ready, pull yourself to one side. Big breath there. And push yourself back up to a seated position. We'll close our practice with the sacred sound of Om. First, a cleansing breath. Inhale. And then Om. I thank you, people at home and people here in the studio, for joining me. Namaste. Have a great day. You're welcome. I nearly said people at home. That's a new one. Bye, you guys. Oh, finish?